RedLightNodes District. Total supply of tokens, 2 million. Price per coin right now, $10.68. Market cap of total supply right now, about 21.2 million. Total self-reported circulating supply on both CoinMarketCap and in the Discord, 500,000 tokens. Actual circulating supply market cap, 5.314 million at current price. Ticker symbol, Playmates. Launch price, $19.90. All-time high, $29.47. Percent decrease from all-time high at current price, about 66%. Time in business, less than a month and a half. February 3rd of 2022. Days it takes to make 200 nodes from one node, 117.5 days. Income per month at current price with 200 nodes, $66,000. Maximum ROI if you cash out on day 365 and you compounded perfectly, 110,446.87%. And we'll talk about that in just a second. How's it going, everybody? I'm glad to see you at the new video, and I absolutely appreciate you showing up. Now, this protocol is actually pretty wild, so just bear with me because this might be a little bit longer of a video than normal, but just make sure you stick around to the end till you hear that Drew's secret sauce, because I promise you the breakdown will be worth it. Now, what is the RedLightNodes District? Spoiler alert, it's actually kind of a cool concept. I dig it. So it's kind of a Playboy Mansion type themed node project. It's run on the AVAX blockchain, and it's offering mansions or districts as nodes. It's going to be offering more things in the future, and we'll talk about that in just a second. It sounds kind of like a Thor and Strongblock hybrid, and I'll explain what that means in a minute too. But I'm smelling what they're stepping in. I understand the premise here. So what exactly are these nodes? So on the website it says this: nodes are a collection of data points that reward users for their generation and use. Each node generates a predetermined amount of that coin or token. While this is true, this actually comes with a word of caution. This is actually only true if you're running your own network, which they are not their own network like Gala or Flux, etc. So the rewards aren't actually coming from block rewards, they're coming from new investors buying nodes and any other revenue streams that they have in place. So what exactly is RedLightNodes District's goal? In their words, their goal is to provide a more sustainable and rewarding passive income stream through the technology of node systems and NFTs. Yeah, we all know how I feel about NFTs. I think everybody's doing them. I think the market is oversaturated. I think it's a very sexy thing that people are saying that bring investors and drive traffic to the protocols, but I don't necessarily think that they're feasible for everyone. So we'll just move on to the next point. So let's talk about their nodes and rewards. And again, this is where it gets really wild. So just bear with me, follow me, because I'm going to be throwing a lot of numbers at you. I'm going to be throwing a lot of different nodes at you in a lot of different scenarios. Now, a node costs 20 Playmate tokens. This is about $220 at the present price point. Now, again, with most of the node projects out there, and this one is no different, your coins are gone. They're no longer in existence. You're now a slave to the protocol. You are absolutely dependent upon the rewards. Each node brings back one Playmate per day. And that's if you haven't linked an NFT to it. If you link an NFT to it, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, it actually brings an increase in what you can bring back per day. So this equates out to a 20-day payoff period on your coins. Now, once you have 20 mansions, or the first nodes that you can buy, which is worth about 4.4K at present day, you can actually upgrade those mansions to something that's called a district. So what a district is 20 mansions get converted into a district, and then you pay 20 more Playmate tokens on top of that. So not only do you have to put up your 20 mansions, but you also have to put up 20 other Playmate tokens on top of that. Now what happens is, with that district, you do get a 1.5% bump in your rewards on any other nodes that you create, the mansions, and you also get a 1% decrease on your tax rate. And this is per district. So you can have up to 10 districts, or you can have up to 200 mansions. If you have 10 districts, that means that you can have 15% bump on your rewards every single day and a 10% decrease on your rewards taxes. So you might be asking, what is the difference in between a district and a mansion besides what you just said? So the districts actually only get 1 playmate per day as well. So this is also a way to save on claiming rewards, because if you compound into new nodes or a new district, there's no tax on it. So everything is worth 15% more. So the districts, I kind of see this as a mechanism to keep the coins in the protocol and stop people from taking profits and putting sell pressure on the price. It also keeps people from getting too many mansions, because whenever you trade them in for your districts, they kill all the mansions. So I understand what they're doing there, but in my opinion, it would almost be better to keep those mansions, because you're making 20 tokens a day on those mansions as opposed to making 1 token a day on the districts. Now, if you're extremely long-sighted on this, then obviously the districts will pay off bigger dividends in the future, and we'll go over in a minute why that could happen. Essentially, when you upgrade to the district, you're downgrading your rewards by 95%, assuming that you're not going to get any more nodes or try to compound into any more mansions or districts. My guess is what they're doing with the districts is they're going to phase out the mansions eventually, and the people that have the mansions but don't have any districts are probably going to be left holding the bag because they're not going to have mansions anymore. So then it'll just be districts, and then what they're going to implement later, which we will talk about in just a second as well. So the next thing is going to be cities. So you'll be able to upgrade your districts to cities just in the same way that you would upgrade your mansions to districts. Now, I see that as the next step that will kind of phase out the districts. So they're actually getting rid of the old rewards and then cycling it into new rewards, which is, in my opinion, is kind of genius. So that's pretty cool. So kudos to them for thinking up something like that. They don't really have a roadmap on when they're going to do it, but they said they'll be updating people soon. So a steady increase in your token tax whenever you're trying to pull out your funds and rewards happens as you increase the number of mansions that you have. This is what incentivizes people to then convert those mansions into districts. So make sure you keep that in mind if you do get into this protocol. The way that that breaks down is just like this. Your first 10 mansions, 1 through 10, only cost 20 playmates. So from 11 to 20 mansions, that costs 25 playmates. So 21 through 40 costs 30 playmates. So the more that you stack up and don't compound into districts, the more they're going to charge you, because that's the more that they have to pay out. So 41 through 80 mansions goes up to 35 playmates per mansion. Then from 81 to 100 goes up to 40, and then anything that's over 100 goes up to 45. So things to be cognizant about when you're claiming. There is a 15% claim tax, but if you decide to compound into a new node or a district, you're not actually going to get charged that claim tax. This keeps the coins in the protocol, keeps the cycle going, keeps the pyramid propped up. They're trying to incentivize people to be less short-sighted and be more long-term sighted in this project due to the way that this is structured. Absolutely genius. Love that idea. The main bottleneck that most protocols run into is sustainability. How do we decrease the rewards without decreasing the rewards? There's your answer right there. Exactly what RedLightNodes District is doing. You can have a maximum of 200 nodes, and you can have a maximum of 10 districts. So those 200 mansions, nodes, can be flipped into 10 districts, and then you could get 200 more mansions on top of that once you have 10 districts. Now, if you stack up that many, that does come with a 50% tax. So be very aware of that when you're doing this. So if you did this specifically, the rewards would look like this. On your mansions, you would be making 230 tokens a day. That's 200 playmates with a 15% bump because you have 10 districts. On your districts, you would be making 10 playmates per day, which would bring it to a grand total of 240 playmates that you're making per day. Now remember, you're not actually going to be making 240 playmates because of the 50% tax. So it'll actually be about 120. But we're gonna leave that out for now. So this could be about $2,650 a day that you would be making at the current price. Subtract out that 50% tax, you're making about $1,325 a day. If you just wanted to do this randomly, it would cost you at least $86,000 at present price. And that's not even accounting for the increases when you get over 10 nodes and you have to pay 25 tokens now. Now, if you're making about $1,325 a day, your payoff period is going to be around 65 days. Here's a really cool thing. Once you reach 200 nodes, you get a free NFT. And what this NFT does is it gives you whitelist position for all future projects and tokens, and a whitelist to the play to earn game that they're supposed to be bringing out. This also comes with increased earning incentives on that P2E game, but they didn't really elaborate too much on this. And the NFT bumps your rewards on your entire wallet by 25%. That's pretty substantial, especially when you're already getting a 15% bump if you have 10 districts, and then add another 25% on that. That's crazy good rewards. Now, how did the minting of all of these 2 million tokens break down? So the reward pool got about 50% of the tokens, which is 1 million. The exchange, which is the liquidity, got about 25% of the tokens, or about 500,000 of the tokens. There was a pre-sale of about 15% of the tokens, which is 300,000 of them. And then the team got 200,000 tokens, which is 10% of the total supply. 50% of those team tokens are locked for 1 year, but the other 50% they can sell whenever they want. They own 20% of the circulating supply right now, so just be aware of that. So how do the taxes and fees break down? Here's how your node payment is distributed. 80% goes to the rewards pool, and then 20% goes to liquidity. And of that 20%, 50% of it goes in Playmates and 50% of it goes in AVAX. That AVAX pairing triggers a sell order, so that actually drives the price down every time that happens. Now, there is 0% tax on buying, but there is a 10% tax on selling, which means you need to adjust for your slippage. There's also a transfer tax if you want to transfer your Playmates to another wallet. That is a 40% tax. There's also a whale tax. So this is added to the sales tax dependent upon how many tokens you're trying to get out. So if you own less than 20 mansions, your tax is 2.5%. If you own 20 to 49 mansions, your tax is 5%. If you own 50 to 99 mansions, your tax is 15%. And if you own more than 100 mansions, your tax is 25%. And then lastly, if you own all 200 mansions and your wallet is full, it is a 50% tax rate. So calculate that ROI that you were talking about in the very beginning for us. No problem. If you start with one node, this is how it goes. It takes you 20 days to get to your next mansion. Then it takes about 117 and a half days to get to your 200th mansion. Now you then convert those 200 mansions into 10 districts. And it'll take you at least 1 day to do that because you're gonna need 200 tokens because it also costs 20 tokens per district to create. You now have an NFT that gives you a 25% bump on all of your rewards from here on out. You now have 10 districts, and that means that you're getting 10 tokens per day, so 2 days later, you can create your first new mansion again. Having those 10 districts gives you a 15% bump on your rewards on your mansion, on top of the 25% that you're already getting from the free NFT that you got. Now, your next node comes 14 days later because of those increases. Your 200th node comes after the 82nd day. So 82 days later, you will then have 10 districts and 200 mansions. You are now 100% maxed out. Your wallet has everything that it can possibly have in it. You make 10 Playmates per day on your districts. Then you make 287.5 Playmates per day on your 200 mansions because of those bumps. This means you're making just under 300 Playmates per day in total. Now you're making about 8,900 Playmates per month when you literally started off with a 20 coin investment. All of this took about 200 days. So in about 7 months, you could have your wallet totally maxed out after starting off with literally one mansion. That's absolutely insane. That's astronomical. I don't understand how that sustains, but be that as it is, these are the numbers. Now, if you take the coins that you have and you divide them by the initial 20 coins that you started off with, that's a 44,600% ROI on your coins. And if you keep them going for the whole year, it gets even crazier. You would make about 49,000 more tokens in those 165 days. This is a 245,000% APY. Divide this by 2 because now you have a 50% claim tax. Then if you really want it to be accurate, subtract out the 10% for the sales tax. For the NFTs, I'm not gonna touch on that too much because this video is already gonna be long enough, but here's how it breaks down. You can buy NFTs to boost your rewards. We already know that. The floor price is about 190 AVAX right now. That means it's about $14,000. If you buy that NFT at floor price, 190 AVAX, $14,000, and say you only have one node, the payback period on that is 5,600 days. So it's more advantageous if you have a bunch of nodes to do this on. If you have all 200 nodes, your payback period is actually only like 4 weeks, 28 days. You can also stake, and we're not going to cover that too much, but this is a way that you can actually compound your profits and into new nodes faster. You can basically say, okay, I want to stake this, and then you get a percent of whatever they mined that day. So say that there's like 10,000 tokens that are in the pool and you have 1,000 of them, you'll get 10% of whatever they made that day. Now, this is actually locked for 10 days, so you can't pull out until that 10-day contract is up, and you're paid out in MIM, M-I-M. There's a 5% tax whenever you stake, so just make sure that the ROI is going to be worth it. And there are also tiered unstaking taxes. Unstaking after 1 cycle is a 75% tax, so this is how you keep the coins in the protocol. And after 6 cycles or 60 days, 2 months, right, is a 10%. Now, there is no tax if you restake or compound, but you have to do that manually. So make sure you're paying attention to your contract dates. Now, this is what everybody's been waiting for. Drew's secret sauce. Let's get into that, right? There's 120,559 nodes sold so far. Add another 3,660 for the 183 districts they have, which took 20 nodes apiece. Add another 183 nodes for the districts since it cost 20 extra playmates per district to host them. So the total nodes sold are 124,402. Multiply that by the node cost of 20 and you come up with 2.488 million tokens. That's over a 2-month period. That is literally 5 times the circulating supply of, around 500,000 tokens. And that is actually 125% of the total supply. So they have already recycled their circulating supply 5 times, and they've recycled their total supply 1.25 times. Now, do with this information what you will. I know I'm not saying that the coins are locked up in all the nodes. We understand that they recycle it, but again, that's Drew's secret sauce, just letting you know how much this has actually been recycled, how many times these coins have been flipped, and how much this protocol is growing at an exponential rate every single day. Now, let's touch on the roadmap really quick because I know a lot of people are going to say that, and I think it's important. So they're supposed to be doing like mini nodes, which I assume is going to be less than 20 playmates. Okay, cool. But where does that put you whenever you try to phase out the mansions? They're doing this thing called Red Light Mysteries. Have no idea what that is. Red Light Mobile, which is probably going to be a mobile app. The Red Light Launchpad. I have no idea what that is either, but I'm sure they'll expound upon it in the future. And if you know, let me know. Then we've got the good stuff, the NFT marketplace that everyone and their moms do. And my mom has an NFT marketplace, just so you guys know, so go check it out. They're going to do a P2E play-to-earn multiplayer game. They're going to do a decentralized exchange. Then they have the Red Light blockchain, supposedly like in development right now. The next thing they want to do is multi-chain compatibility, so multi-networks, blah, blah, blah. So I will commend them. Their team is actually pretty transparent. I do like that. They have 4 main guys, Leo, Alex, Bailey, and this other guy named Rory. And they all have their pictures and Twitters on the website and blah, blah, blah. Now, that's a plus, but it isn't doxing. Their Twitters are their like character names, so you really still have no idea who these guys are. So they're KYC'd by CoinScope, which apparently they have KYC'd over 90 projects. That's great. But they seem a lot like Assure DeFi. And if you don't know what Assure DeFi is, go watch my Thor videos and some of my other videos. But essentially, it's a company that they don't even tell you who they are, but they're being trusted to say, yeah, we know who the people are that are running these protocols. I don't know. It's weird to me. Do with that information what you will. Here's one thing I will say about them. The oldest KYC they have is 5 months old, and the majority of them are 2 months old or less. I tried to contact them, and their admin is some dude named Mr. Smith, and they're just not transparent on who they are. Now, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for showing up to the video. This was actually a very requested video. A lot of my content comes from you in the comments, so continue doing that. I thank you so much for all the support. I thank you so much for all the subscribers, all the likes, all the comments. If you got any value out of this video, go ahead and smash that like button like somebody just dissed your mom, right? Bang on that notification bell after you hit the subscribe button and comment anything that you want. Thank you all so much for showing up. The glow up on this channel is real. You're the ones that are making this happen. Let's keep it moving and let's get on to the next protocol. See you in the next video. Thank you so much and have a good day, guys.